Hello everyone, I am Len. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to share a few easy breakfast recipes and snack recipes. The first one is waffles with yeast. It is so relaxing to go to brunch with families on a Saturday or Sunday morning. My kids usually order waffles. I like waffles too, but somehow I do not like the taste of baking powder. Or I should say that I hate the taste of baking powder. I know that hate is a strong word and I'm not supposed to use it. Quite a few times that I tried muffins or some desserts made by friends and I just did not like it for some reason. Later on, I would find out that baking powder was in the recipe. So I'm so glad that I found this recipe to make waffles with yeast. Here are the ingredients you will need. First, warm up the milk in the microwave for 45 seconds to 1 minute. It should not be hot at all, otherwise it will kill the yeast. Stir it in case it is not heated evenly. Put the yeast in the milk and mix. If you have time, you can let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes to help activate the yeast better, but it is optional. Next, crack and beat the eggs. Mix the flour and sugar. Add the oil, eggs, and vanilla to milk yeast mixture. Stir to mix well. Then mix the dry ingredients and liquid ingredients together until you do not see big flour clumps. Cover the container and let it rise. Once you see some bubbles in the dough and it almost doubles the size, you can use the batter to make waffles. Depending on the temperature of your room and if you have activated the yeast or not earlier, this step might take from 1 hour to 4 or 5 hours. Here is what I have noticed. At 78 degrees, it will take between 1 hour to 2 hours. At 70 degrees, it will take around 4 hours. You do not need to worry about too much when it rises the best. I noticed that waffles will turn out to be pretty good if the batter does not rise enough or past the peak rising point. If you're not sure, go ahead and use it after 2 hours as long as your house is not too cold. Of course, if it passes the peak rising point too much, your waffle might taste sour, which means you waited for too long. Follow your waffle machine instructions to make waffles. They taste the best right after being made. We top it with either honey or maple syrup, and some berries if you have them handy. For the leftovers, after cooling down, I will store them in a big container and put into the refrigerator. Next time when I eat it, I just put it in toaster oven to restore the crispy texture, and it is ready to go. Sometimes I make the batter the night before. For example, Friday or Saturday evening. I will leave it outside for 30 minutes or so. Then I put the batter in the refrigerator. The next morning, I will take it out. Leave it in room temperature for a little bit. I can do other things while waiting for it. Once you see it almost double the size, you can start using the batter to make the waffles. If you like this video so far, please press the like icon. If you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe. The second and third recipes are about enhancing store-bought croissants at home without visiting a bakery. I like pastries. When I lived in Chicago, there was a French bakery named Vive la France in a big shopping mall. I visited every time I went to that mall. One thing I want to mention about store-bought croissant is that when you buy them, make sure the ingredients do not contain hydrogenated oil or margarine. They are very unhealthy. Butter should be used when making croissants. Chocolate croissant. First, cut a croissant in halves. Lay some chocolate chips on top of one half. Toast both halves in the toaster oven according to the setting. Take them out. Put the one without the chocolate chips on top of the other half. Congratulations, you got your quick chocolate croissant. If my daughter eats this in the car while I'm driving, I can hear the crispy sound all the way until she finishes it. Danish croissant. Make quick Danish by mixing some room temperature softened cream cheese and sugar. You can add some lemon zest if you have a lemon in your refrigerator. You will need more ingredients to make a real Danish, but I found that cream cheese and sugar are good enough for me. Cut a croissant in half and toast it in the toaster oven. Once done, take it out and spread some Danish on top of one half. Cover it with the other half. Now you got a quick Danish croissant. The fourth recipe in this video that I want to share is granola. It is quite easy to make, actually. Here are the ingredients. Preheat the oven at 300 degrees. Mix all the ingredients. Notice that the seeds and dried fruits are optional. I highly recommend that you add some dried fruits. I always use cranberry. I think it works well because it adds both sweet and sour flavor to the granola. If you add seeds and dried fruits, you will need to add a little bit more oil and maple syrup. As you can see, that I started with 2 tablespoons of each, and I ended up adding 1 more tablespoon for each later. Vanilla is also optional. After mixing them, pour them onto baking sheets. Try to spread them as much as you can. Bake for 10 to 12 minutes. Leave them in the oven for 4 more hours or overnight. I found that half a cup of dried fruits is not enough. My son prefers more dried fruits. So I added a 1/4 cup more cranberry at the end. Also, the final product I got today does not have big clumps. If you prefer more big clumps, add more oil and maple syrup. My favorite way of eating it is to use it as topping on some Greek yogurt. Store them in airtight containers and enjoy them later. The last one in this video is French toast. My sister-in-law made this for me when I first came to the US over 20 years ago. The secret is to use good bread. Personally, I prefer bread which are denser and more chewy. Most store-bought bread does not meet my standard. That is why I make bread often. I will be sharing some bread machine recipe in the future. Heat a pan with some oil in medium-high. Beat an egg into a wide bowl or a deep plate. Add some milk and mix well. You can also add sugar here if you want to. I choose not to since I add maple syrup or honey later, which is sweet enough for me. Soak the bread in milk and eggs for both sides. Once the oil is hot enough, put the bread in the pan. Cook each side until golden brown, which is about 1 minute for me. Pour some maple syrup or honey on top before you enjoy it. It is even better if you are using bread that was just freshly made. Bread that we make ourselves are not only denser, but also have stronger yeast raisin flour dough smell. You will know what I'm talking about once you try this yourself. And you will not miss the French toast from the normal restaurants. I hope you enjoy watching this video. Happy living, happy cooking. See you next time.